Welcome to Prince. We're doing Talking Tarot. So if you've got questions, if you'd like a reading, we can do that. If you want to just chat, by all means, we can do that too. Running a little late today, but mostly just finishing setup. And unless there's a sudden, severe demand for readings, we should be able to keep up. Should be able to set this up fast enough, at least the extra parts. So, oh, bummer. Why's it gotta be like that? Anyways, just gotta log in again. Tad annoying, but I asked for the security, so what can I say? Let's get our digital guide ready to go. There's that. And let's get our music running. On the softer side. Muted volume so you can hear me, which is great. That's all I really want. And this needs to join so that we can show people their spreads when we make them. Better. Okay. And now I just show text, take questions in chat and monologue. So it is what it is. Might be cutting back on how frequently I'm streaming. I still need to do the registration stuff for the business today, but I'm pretty sure I can get it done. Part of it's just motivation, part of it's just time, and I think I've gotten it today. Oh, hey, Sinazo. Do you prefer Mini? I think I've seen both names before. I know you hopped on right at the end one or two times ago. Sorry, I didn't get the message before we stopped. I'm doing well. How are you? Hey, Rada. Doing well. Let me go ahead and get some deck shuffled. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, by all means. And Sinazo or Mini, I don't know what you prefer. If you've got a question, you can drop that in too. They all get answered at some point, so. Oh, excellent. We like when people are doing well. Let me just keep shuffling. Well, I get a job this month. Hey, Lavina. Doing well. So let's highlight that question for now. Let me see. That could be Prisma. That could be Destiny. I feel like I'm leaning towards Prisma. Although we'll probably use the yes/no from the Destiny guide. So give me, or actually I can pull that up. There we go. And show. All right, Rada, I'll ask that after I'm done with Sinazo. Sinazo, this is the yes/no spread we'll be using. I'll be using the Prisma deck, so it has a different back and whatnot. But we'll be able to categorize that the same way. So, and then, excellent, Lavina. Was just going to ask you. So obviously, there's a couple of people already in line, but if you need to go, you can come back later because this will be on YouTube and whatnot. But we'll answer that question. And hopefully I don't need clarity, but we'll get there at some point. Or we'll do our best. Will I get a job this month? Okay. I don't need to shuffle, do I? Okay. And which 3 cards? Looks like we've got 1 off the problem. Okay. Where are the other 2? Mumble, mumble, mumble. Maybe I should say mumbo jumbo, like I'm doing a spell or something. It really doesn't require any vocal stuff. I just need to focus to get in tune. Okay. We've got our 3 cards. Oh, sorry about the noise. Let me go ahead and show them, and then we'll flip. Okay. So we've got Ace of Chalices, 4 of Pentacles, and then the Hermit. And then let me look at the guide real quick because I don't have this memorized. Ace of Chalices, Ace of Cups is what this guide would call it. That looks good, so that's a yes card. 4 of Pentacles. That also seems to be a yes card, despite the greedy nature of the character depicted. And then we've got the Hermit, and that's a neutral card. So we're falling into the category of 2 yes cards with a no or neutral. So a positive outcome is likely, but may take time to come about. So I don't know if that means, well, I mean, you had a particular timeline in there, Minnie. So that's the thing I'm not sure about, whether it's referring to the end of that timeline or a bit beyond that. But yeah, it's a yes. It's just the timing might be a little more finicky. So, yeah. So that's our answer for that. And if you've got follow-ups or other questions, by all means, go ahead and drop those in. But I'll be going through to the next question. So Rada, spirit messages, what's next for me and my person in this month? Okay. No problem. Let's see. For Rada, which deck are we using? I feel like it's usually Destiny, but I guess we did Cosmo last time, didn't we? Well, I mean, there's kind of 2 questions there. There's the romance aspect, and then there's the more general reading, the spirit messages. So yeah, I guess we'll do a 2-for-1. We'll use the Destiny deck for the person, and I think we'll use Cosma for the general reading. Sorry, accidentally closed the wrong one. Let me use the Destiny map. No problem. I usually am trying to do my best, so got that one. We've got this one. I think we'll start with the general aspect of it. So we'll start with the Cosma, which does need a bit of a shuffle. And since it's general, it'll just be however many cards. And I guess the romance one is kind of open-ended too, so that's probably just whatever number of cards as well. We'll just figure that out as we go. Thanks. That's probably good enough. Okay. Sorry for being quiet. Maybe I should do music or something. Just so that people don't get worried that I've muted or something or disconnected. Is there more to that? We might be coming back to that. Let's spread these a bit. I think we have a duo, but I'll check that. And then we've got the third card. Let's pull out the Destiny deck. And figure out what cards we need here. Might be more of a mix and match from both decks, but we shall see. There is a better card here. Where is it? Huh. Just one card from that deck, at least for now. Let's go back to Cosmos, see if there are more, like I think there are. think we've got it. So we've got, and is that the duo? I think it is. I think so. Yeah, that's more of a duo. And then we sort of just got the order in which they were drawn. So feels more like the romance part of this got incorporated in, but that's probably fine. So let's get our cards on screen. So we'll just go in the order that they were drawn. We've got this duo, which I get is equals. We don't have an influence. This was the third. We flipped over and then we flipped back. So these cards, if I can get my fingers under them, we've got 3 of lotuses and 4 of lotuses. And these, at least how the deck was made. Oh, I'll zoom in a bit. There's kind of a landscape thing going on. So I'm guessing those are related, but we'll get into the details of that one. But those are equals. We have over here 7 of birds flying in a formation. We have Queen of Pentacles, and the notes there are wisdom and maternal. And then down here, we've got 3 of embers. Oh, I saw that one recently. But I'll have to double check on that one. So, setting this down and pulling out our guidebook, let's start with those lotuses. Figure out what they're up to. So for the 3, the keywords are coexistence, synchronicity, and alignment. And for the 4, the keywords are apathy, contemplation, disconnectedness. So an interesting juxtaposition there. I'll get into the details on the 3 of lotuses. If there was a card about natural synchronicity, this is it. In a reading, this can represent universal alignment with your surroundings. Like a symphony, each part unfolding in harmonious beauty. Rejoice in the presence of this card. It finds the best in coexistence with your surroundings. If you do not feel it already, look for it. It is there. It is when we are in need of a little luck or beauty that it shows up in the most unusual places. And then in contrast, we've got the 4 of lotuses. This is a card of utter disconnectedness. It finds itself in a reading when there is a sharp imbalance in things, but it suggests that it is the approach that needs correcting. Your attention on what is around you has diminished, and therefore your outlook on the world has lessened. Take this flood as a wake-up call, or a future reminder to immerse yourself in something new, so that you can appreciate with the world around you. Let me read that again. Take this flood as a wake-up call or a future reminder to immerse yourself in something new so that you can appreciate with the world around you. Because one day it may not be there anymore. So yeah, interesting. I mean, a lot of those don't, coexist in a sense. The disconnectedness and the apathy, as opposed to the synchronicity and the coexistence. But it seems more like the 4 of lotuses in that reading is more, it talks about it being a flood. So nudge might be a weak word. But basically that's going to try to push you. And that's probably going to be your signal that you need to take a look and realize that things are in alignment. So, because where was it? If you do not feel it already, look for it. It is there. It is when we are in need of a little luck or beauty that it shows up in the most unusual places. So, it seems like you'll get waves And it doesn't seem like they'll seem bad, I guess, but in the reality of it, it'll just put things into better alignment. So probably spent more than enough time there. Let's go on to the Seven of Birds. Not the ace. Yeah. I mean, there's still the hardship part of it, but I mean, long run, it's clearly working out better. Seven of Birds. So this would normally be Seven of Swords. Obstacle, tactics, strategy are the keywords. Only the brave would dare to cross this treacherous terrain. When this card shows up, it is a placeholder for a strategy you must soon devise. Some rocky roads may be approaching, and it is ill-advised to approach haphazardly. Instead, you will need to learn from the birds in order to plan accordingly. Do so, and you will make it to the other side with much ease. A carefully thought-out maneuver will catapult you much further than approaching with haste. I think that's just a continuation of what you've already been advised. The meditation, slowing down, being more intentional. Keep that up because it will either serve you well when the mountains come up, or you'll suffer for it potentially. So, and that might be the waves, those mountains. Might be a similar thing. But so keeping with our order, we go to the Destiny deck and the Queen of Pentacles. Since this is electronic, I can go ahead and share that. And there she is. Symbolizes material success and abundance. The Queen is generous and supportive, with a strong maternal instinct that is affectionate and wise. When this card appears in a reading, it could indicate that you are entering a moment of embodied health, taking care of your body and healing it. You must stay grounded and connected to your spiritual practice. You are summoning your role as a healer and finding your amazing ability to nurture others as you contribute to your own healing. This card is also one of fertility. This can mean the birth of new projects, a creative venture, children, or finances coming into your life. Where Destiny deck, like that part here, was dealing with the person you were interested in. Like, I'm inclined to think that means there's going to be forward movement in that relationship. But obviously this works pretty well with everything else, just being a positive influence, not only on yourself, but on others. And positive, but also healing. You do have to deal with the fact that people have their scars and their wounds that are getting helped out with. But once you recognize that and recognize how wonderful healing is, like that's a very positive thing. Let's go back to, I'll leave that up. But I'll move on to reading the Three of Embers. Looking ahead, expansion, rapid growth. The Sibyl sees all there is to come. Her psychic intuition can be emotionally crippling at times, but with streamlined focus, it can offer a chance at rapid growth and, most importantly, survival. As humans, we all have the ability to predict and plan for future problems through adapting and anticipating. Learn from the Sibyl, look forward, and plan ahead for any possible outcome, and you will see a chance for rapid growth in the near future. That almost seems like a continuation, like similar to the Seven of Birds, continuing the practices of being intentional, meditative, in a way it's not clearing the way, but you're picking a better path by taking that time. So, yeah. I mean, overall, I think this is pretty good. Like, you've got a course. Well, and part of that is you'll be picking the course. But, yeah. you'll be able to find your path and work your way through. So it would normally be 3 of Wands. Yeah, 3 of Wands. Hopefully that helps. But yeah, so you had the 3 and 4 of Lotuses. That would normally be chalices or cups. The 7 of Birds. The birds are swords in the Cosmo deck. Queen of Pentacles is obviously Pentacles, but then 3 of Embers, that fieriness, that's referring to Wands. So hopefully that, yeah, I think you caught it, but yeah. Let me know if there's anything else to follow up there. But for now, I'm going to move on to Lavina. What kind of connection will head between Ankit Jain and me? And what kind of relationship quotient we will share? What is his purpose of coming to my life? Okay. Relationship quotient. That's interesting. I think I get the idea, but well, so I mean, Radha, with that Queen of Pentacles, there was that. Sorry, Lavina, give me one sec. There was that part. This card is also one of fertility. This can mean the birth of new projects, a creative venture, children, or finances coming into your life. The idea I got is that that was a forward movement in that romantic, or at least in that relationship. It might be slow, but I did get the impression that there would be something. That doesn't mean to disregard all the intention and, meditation, because those practices, like that was very much in the Queen of Pentacles as well. But whereas her part in this spread was speaking to that person in your life, it sounds like there's going to be forward progress there. So, and given that your question was for the month as far as the general reading, yeah, I'm inclined to think that that's coming soon. I know you have your particular person in mind, and I'm leaning towards that. But yeah, I get the impression it's that person. That's what you were asking about, and I'm not getting like a more generic. It's not forward progress with somebody new or somebody else. So yeah, that's the impression I'm getting, that it's some sort of forward progress with them. If it's been no contact, then I imagine that something's going to happen. I suppose it could be you initiating that. You've got that 7 of Birds, the Queen of Pentacles, 3 of Embers. All of that is you that's doing the planning and figuring out your course. So it could very much be initiated by you. Keep in mind that intention, the slow, the meditative, because I don't, if you rush it, like we've already been down that road before, we know how he responds to that and how that turns out. So but yeah, as far as well, I'm sure there's ways around it, but yeah. So I mean, it could be okay. Well, and that might be part of your plan and your course. Inciting them, inviting them in a sense to come to you. Gotcha. So yeah, I mean, reflect on it. Make sure that that's the course, that's the path you want to take, because you're smart enough and you've been practicing, so you should be able to discern that. But yeah, it could be that you're just enticing them to come, and that you'll have to be patient until they finally own up to it. So if you want something more in depth, let me know. Let me go ahead and do the other readings. But yeah, I'm willing to even do a follow-up on that one in this session. So sorry, back to Lavina. What kind of connection? Okay. And for this one, sorry. Yeah, I'm probably Destiny deck seems like the right one. Okay. Well, and you can go ahead and drop it in. I mean, we had a rush at the beginning, but I think I'll be able to go back and find it in the chat. So go ahead and take your time wording it, because I think that adds intention and helps get an answer. Gosh, why am I shuffling these? We need the Destiny deck. But yeah, if you want to drop it in, that's fine. And then it'll just happen in the order. All right, Lavina. And we've got that card. Okay. Okay. Yeah, purpose is interesting. So that's a good question. It can be somewhat self-defeating if the experience is what you need, but we'll see if we can get an answer to that part. What kind of relationship quotient we will share? Okay. Okay. Yeah. It's not a typical relationship reading. I don't know that we even need to flip that one. Okay. That might be an influence. We'll figure out your place in a moment. That seems right for a relationship. Feel like we've got intention. And it looks like we've got a placeholder for you. And we have an influence. Love you. I have a wifey now, so I gotta give her love. Okay. Okay, I think that might be it as far as cards go. Is this just a detail card? Okay. Yeah, Fareed, you can go ahead and ask your question. We've got a couple in line, but yeah, we'll definitely get to it. Time-wise, if you need to come back to the video, that's fine too. Because sooner or later I'll answer. Let's show the cards. And hopefully our camera can keep up. And I don't know if I've got enough room on that screen. Is that catching up? Okay, there we go. So this is the card representing Ankit. This is the card representing you. And while you're not specifically asking about the people, I feel like we're probably going to end up flipping those. This card in between is the relationship. Above, we've got intentions from him. And here we've got an influence. Sorry, the camera's a little off there. But yeah, so up there is the influence. And that's more so influencing his intents. It's not as direct an influence on him. There's this card down here, related. I'm not exactly sure what that relationship to him is, assuming it's a him, sorry. I think we'll probably have an idea as we flip. And then down here in the corner, in No Man's Land, we've got an extra card. I think this is just an informative detail of some sort. What its place is, I'm not quite sure. So that's, well, okay, so that's what those mean. And now I guess we'll go ahead and flip the cards, because kind of need to do that for reading. So we've got Page of Swords, and the keywords there are contracts and information. Intentions, we've got Two of Cups, and there we've got love and peace are the notes. So far seems good intentioned. The influence is Emperor, and the notes on that are control and security. Not a bad thing. But there's always the fear of the tyrant, so we'll read that just to make sure we get it right. In between, for the relationship, we've got judgment, and the notes here are rebirth and letting go. So, not sure if that's going to be romantic per se, but that's sort of the function it's going to play. For you, we got Four of Wands. And the notes there are freedom and, what is that? Creativity. Okay. So pretty free spirit. And then over here, we've got 10 of Pentacles. And then this detail, 10 of Cups. So those are pretty stable supporting cards. Let me go ahead and set this aside. And let's start going through what those cards mean. So let's go ahead and start with Ankit's card, the Page of Swords. Represents a new mindset being created, a sort of awakening where you are able to look at life with a curious and open mind. This openness allows you to be creative, innovative, and open to new possibilities. It is an important time to start communicating more in your relationships. This is a time to observe carefully, pay attention to what others are saying, and take action when the right opportunity presents itself. Important news may be coming your way, and it can be a solution to a conflict. Stay dedicated to your cause, plan well, and strategize, because this card is reminding you to not lose sight of the big picture. So that's the card representing himself. Looks like he's opening up, sort of in an analytical way. He's observing this as much as he's participating in it. Let's go to the intentions, the Two of Cups, which had those two doves on it. Well, and the two cups. Represents union, harmony, partnership, peace, and love. Perhaps there's a deeper commitment that is occurring in a current relationship, such as an engagement, moving in together, or marriage. This is an auspicious card for a creative partnership as well. This can include one that includes writing, art, creative interests, and healing work. It is a card of reconciliation and ongoing negotiations, which will be resolved in your favor. Enjoy the deep love that is coming your way in all aspects of your life. You deserve it. So, really good intentions on his part, at least. And then the influence leading to that, we've got the Emperor, major arcana. No, I don't have that. There we go. Signifies male power and the father archetype, a symbol of balance, control, leadership, power, and security. This card predicts that a certain situation can be overcome with careful planning and dedication. This card indicates a return to order. The appearance of this card in a reading indicates a positive improvement, as well as trust. You can trust in yourself to make the right decision because you hold the ultimate control of your own life. So yeah, this is just further testament that he's improving, if not getting better. So you're already starting with a good person, and it seems to be smooth sailing, at least for the next bit. So yeah, pretty solid foundation there as far as what he's bringing to the relationship. Let's touch the Ten of Pentacles and then let's get to the relationship card. So, because Ten of Pentacles is also pulling on him in some way. Symbolizes wealth and security. Count your blessings because magic is all around you. This card shows up to remind you that all is in perfect balance. 10 coins form a perfect arch linked together surrounding a circle with an eye. This signifies completeness and maturity, which can be interpreted in financial and emotional terms that come with life experiences. The fruits of your labor will benefit future generations as part of your legacy. This card speaks of your connection with the laws of the universe, urging you to live your best life. So I think that's speaking to him. He's just got a solid foundation all around. As far as his intentions toward the relationship, who he is as a person, and the context in which he's pressing forward. Let's get to Judgment, because this is really what you're asking for. What role he's playing. This is one of the major arcana. Judgment is a card where your past and future come together. You are being called upon to review your decisions and actions to ensure they are in line with where you ultimately need to go. Great changes and opportunities are on the horizon, but before you move forward, certain past issues must be addressed. The Judgment card also predicts a spiritual awakening. As you receive guidance on your path, your confidence and wisdom will grow. This card is a reminder that it is never too late to make a change for the better. Which makes sense. I mean, we'll read the Four of Wands, but there's just a lot of contract between the freedom and creativity indicated there and all of the order, security, planning happening on his end of things. So, in a sense, like there's a bit of a reckoning. The who you are, who you've chosen to be, and this contrast, this juxtaposition. Neither of these is bad, but they're like two very different ways of approaching things. So, let's go on to Four of Wands. And this was the one representing you. Is a card of celebration. It is time to enjoy your success after a certain completion. Perhaps there's a wedding, a reunion, a gathering, or a rite of passage. Enjoy what life has to offer, as this is an auspicious card for creativity and artistic projects to flourish. This card often comes up when a new partner or love interest will open their hearts and express affection. This card also comes up in a reading to remind you that this is a time to be a pillar in your community. It is a good time to get involved in local issues and social events. This is a moment to share your light with others. So, different from the keywords, although I'm leaning towards them a bit more. There's just an openness here. And I think that you might have some contrast there with the planning, the security. But yeah, as far as what I'm seeing, I'm really leaning on that freedom and creativity in contrast with the control, the security, the contracts, the information, just the deliberateness of this person. And then, yeah, I mean, it's a different way of living. Let me see if. Hey, Jasmine. How's it going? Okay. Let's touch on the last detail, the Ten of Cups. One of the most positive and joyful cards of the Minor Arcana. It reveals the benefits of love and the security of family. The card predicts great happiness for relationships or close friendships. It is also a positive message for children, forecasting their success in their studies and with their friends. The card is a reminder that what you have worked hard for is coming together. This card is a great indicator of success in family matters, contentment, prosperity, celebrations, and joy. So, I mean, it looks like you're on the tail end of possibly life's hardships. We don't really have a promise that like this is a romantic relationship, a lasting one. Like I said, this could also be best friend material, so to speak. And that's for you and Ankit to sort out. Jasmine, yes, go ahead and drop it in and we'll add you to the rotation. If you need to come back, it'll be on the video at some point. But yeah, the Ten of Cups, I think once you're done with this relationship and learning from it, back to Lavina. Once you're done with this relationship and learning from it, you're going to be at a pretty wholesome place. And as far as relationships go, I think you're going to be well positioned. Very well, if not already in the position you want. So that's what we've got there. So to Jasmine's question, Fareed hasn't asked his question. So I'm going to go back to Radha. She asked the question. If Fareed follows up, then I'll go back to him. But so far, at most 2, possibly just 1. So yeah, Fareed, if you're still on, go ahead and drop your question in. No problem. Excellent. Always love it when it connects. So, okay, perfect. Where were we? So yeah, Radha's. What are his next move or intentions towards me? Okay. Any idea of timeline as to when reconciliation would happen? Oh. Yeah. Okay. I think we can. Yeah, Jasmine, you can ask about that. And if that's all you want, we can. If you want to be more specific, I love specifics. But if not, I'll figure it out. It might just take me a while. Well, yeah. General readings have an open-endedness to them that. Okay. But speaking to Jasmine real quick, yeah, open-ended questions. Well, they're just a bit harder, for me at least. I feel like specific ones are easier to work with. But either way is fine. So back to Radha. We have the two. I feel like I could do a timeline one. I feel like we could do that. Okay. Let's start with reconciliation. I feel like we can answer that, which is kind of scary because I don't think I've ever done anything. This is closer to divination and predicting future and stuff like that. But yeah. Present state reads are usually easier, safer. The future is a finicky thing. But I think we can do. Is this also a Destiny one? I think it is. Oh. Want to get our camera back. Still want to show people their cards. You can do it, phone. I believe in you. Okay, that's caught up. Any idea of timeline? Yeah, I'm not sure on the units. But I think we can get something. Hey, Zena. Yeah, we've got a few people in line now, but yeah, I'll get to your question. If you need to drop, that's fine. It'll be on the video. So we've got two cards, and we're primarily answering timeline. Haven't done something like this before, so it might take me a moment to interpret, but first card first. Wheel of Fortune, fate and change, usually dealing with cycles, although it's an auspicious card, so that's positive. Oh, there goes that. Well, guess we'll get that camera afterwards. So Wheel of Fortune, and then our second card. Well, I'll just show you guys, and now I'll show myself. The Hanged Man, Enlightened Surrender. Okay. Two major arcana. Let me reference. As far as timeline, I'm leaning towards Wheel of Fortune. And what is that saying? Okay. It's not a specific number like I thought it would be. With the Wheel of Fortune, I'm getting the sense of change in season is probably roughly the timeline we're dealing with. The Hanged Man, the outcome I'm getting there with the Enlightenment and the Surrender, like he's going to have a realization. And given that we've got positive cards here, I assume it's in the favor. So yeah, and then I don't know what the seasons are like where you are, Rada. But yeah, I'm getting the impression that it's when we're getting a change in season. So not, and the next one. Not to be super vague about that. Or it's already vague enough. Toronto, okay. Northern Hemisphere, so you're similar to me. So you're probably in summer. I don't know how soon fall/winter is going to hit. I don't know if you really have a fall when you're that far north. But it sounds like around when that hits, he's going to have his realization. And with the surrender, I'm inclined to think he's giving in. Obviously, with what you've arranged, it seems like he'll have to make the move. But yeah. October. Okay. So yeah, we're looking at what, 3-4 months maybe? So yeah, that checks about right. I was just worried it was going to be like next week or something. But yeah, that feels about right with the Wheel of Fortune and the cycles and the change. There's some time there, but it does progress. It does move and change. So, yeah. So yeah. Was that clear enough? not as many cards, and still a little vague on the answer, but I think we've got our timeline for when he's basically going to come around. And I don't know if it's going to hit him like a hanging would, but I expect it's going to take him some time to stew, and then eventually it's going to start dawning on him, and then he'll make the move. So was that clear enough, Rada? I want to make sure that we got this one good. Probably not. Yeah, given what we know about him and the scenario, yeah, he's probably stewing. And it might be that, what's that saying? Absence makes the heart grow fonder. It might be that it's that separation that gives him the contrast to realizing what he really wants. So yeah, it'll be a while. But it sounds like you personally are through the worst of it for you. So I think at this point, it's not going to be that bad. It's mostly a matter of time, which, if anything, will give you good time to practice and solidify those practices that you're putting in place. No problem. I don't think we've seen Farid yet. So Jasmine, I believe, is next. Thanks, Rada. Let me find Jasmine's. Okay. And this was the most recent iteration of the question. If you need to update that or something, go ahead and drop that in. Me and my boyfriend last, and will money improve? So we've got two different aspects. Yeah, we're still using Destiny deck. Do love this one. Okay. Me and boyfriend last, and will money improve? We don't need a shuffle. Okay. Let's see. We've got one card. Two and three. I'll need to figure out which ones they're answering. So we've got a tempered pair. It's been a little while since I've had that. Okay. So we've got 5 cards. 3 that were drawn one by one. We've got 2 that are a pair. There's a primary one, and there's a secondary one that tempers it. And then as far as which is which, Not quite sure, but I'm pretty sure as we flip them, we'll be able to connect the dots. Let me get our camera back. Share that. There we go. Okay. So we've got our 3 cards, and then this is the tempered pair. We've got the primary one in front and the tempering influence behind it. And well, we'll just go ahead and flip those. So the primary one is 5 of Pentacles. The tempering influence is the 7 of Wands. So this says the 5 of Pentacles has hardship and isolation on it. And then the 7 of Wands, which tempers it, says courage and challenges. So that looks like it's going to be rough. Could be speaking to either aspect, though. And then we'll flip to these. We've got the World, which has success and joy. We've got the High Priestess. Oh, I guess we've lost that. Which has wisdom and secrets on it. And then we've got Death. So 3 major arcana right there. And the notes on Death are transform and change. Let me get this back so we can show the final cards, but we know what they are at this point. And we'll go through what they mean. We'll get into the details. But let's get that. Make sure that's captured. So the World, the High Priestess, Death, and then the tempered pair, the 5 of Pentacles, and then the 7 of Wands. So let me set this down and then pull up our guide. Let's start with the tempered pair. And I guess just to clarify, the tempered pair was one answer, and then the other 3 were another answer. Which aspect they're speaking to, not quite sure. We'll get into that as we read the cards. Let's start with that tempered pair. 5 of Pentacles guides you through conflict in the material realm, which may manifest in the area of finances or well-being. This card asks that you check your beliefs and values by shifting your lack of mentality to one of health and abundance. This card directs you towards spiritual empowerment to overcome any hardship, for instance, the loss of a job or a relationship. The positive aspect is that you will find support from others in a similar position. Sometimes this card comes up to show a certain fear where there is no reason to be fearful. This card also reflects certain feelings of sadness due to a loss of someone close. Have faith that you will discover a resource that will help you see a way forward. So far, I'm leaning towards this one being the money one, but let's get to the 7 of Wands too. That's sort of the impression I got earlier. How the other 3 translate and connect, I'm not sure, but we'll get there. 7 of Wands teaches you that even in victory, there may be obstacles, thus encouraging you to have the motivation to move forward. This card reminds you of your own power and asks you to stand in that strength. Regardless of how difficult certain situations may become, stay determined in your truth until you are satisfied with the outcome. There is a noble aspect to this card, which reveals that you may be defending others, not just your own interests. You are acting as an advocate for those who may not be able to stand up for themselves. In all your endeavors, the task may not be easy, but you are ready for the challenge and come out a victor. So in combination, the impression I'm getting, most likely this is the money one. Will money improve? No. Do you have what you need? Yes. You might not realize that. So take a hard look. but you almost certainly have it. And I think Seven of Wands is leaning into that, yeah, with the courage to face this, to face that lack of mentality and switch it to one of abundance where you do have enough. You might not have as much as others, but you do have enough, and it is enough to make do, to take care of yourself and even others, as it was saying, could be defending others. So there's that one. And then let's get into, I think we'll just do them in order. The World. And no, that's the Hermit. There we go. The final card in the Major Arcana that represents the end of a journey. This card is about completion, success, and fulfillment. This card is one of the most welcome cards in a reading. Your projects pay off, your hard work is rewarded, and a phase is coming to an end in a positive way. When the world shows up in your reading, you are reminded that you are exactly where the universe has intended for you to be on your path. The message that is being given is that of a milestone or an important goal that has been achieved. A cycle has come to a rewarding conclusion. Feel the joy as a new journey is awaiting you. The world is in continuous motion. Enjoy your success. So that seems pretty positive so far. Let's go to High Priestess. Is an intuitive and psychic. She is a symbol of the divine feminine and a gifted teacher. She asks us to go inward and trust our internal knowing. Stop looking for answers from the outside world. P.S. This being an example of that. So, yeah. Your wisdom is your guidance. The arrival of this card is a sign to follow your heart and know that you are on the right path of your spiritual journey. Nurture yourself and your projects. Trust your inner guide. Success is around the corner. So similar to the World, a strong feminine energy, the World having that completion aspect, it sounds like it would be advancing to whatever the next stage is. I don't know what your terms or stages would be for a relationship, but that sounds like forward movement. And then there's death, which sounds bad, but it's not so terrible. One of the most feared cards, yet one of my favorites, from the author. It is not a card of physical death, rather it speaks of cycles, endings which bring about new and wonderful beginnings. A reminder that this too shall pass. Holding on to the past will not allow new things to enter your life. Take comfort in knowing that in every ending lies a new beginning. Although the impact may be sudden, this deeply transformative time may offer you a blessing. A break from the past is often the only way forward. Death is a reality check, and when we believe that there is nothing left to see, we are left with the truth. Revel in the truth, and allow the universe to work its magic. Interesting. I think there might have been some weird wording there. But really, end of a cycle, and that we need to accept that things change and things transform, which, given the World and the High Priestess, with those, well, particularly the World, with the ending of a cycle, the completion of something, I mean, in a typical boyfriend situation, the next step would be marriage, and marriage, that's different from dating, steady dating. It's a different commitment. And obviously you could be breaking it down differently, but death is accepting that transformation and moving on. I mean, pessimistically, death could be referring to a breakup and moving on. The World could be referring to moving on to a new relationship, that this one has come to a close. But that's not the feeling I get. I get that the feeling I get is that this one is going to progress, basically. And yeah, and you've also got the High Priestess saying to trust yourself. And I'm pretty sure the way you're going is that this one is going forward. So, um, okay. All right. So it sounds like we were good on the money part. Okay, and this part was good too. Glad we connected there. Always love it when it works. Oh, Fareed hopped on. What about Zenon's feelings towards me? We both are men. Thanks a lot. I mean, the fact that it's gay doesn't really matter. I can answer just the question Zenon's feelings towards me. And you don't have to subscribe, just FYI. Nice of you too. But it's not like it's required. I think, where were we? So, yeah, Fareed has been on. Then we'll get to, I want to say Xena was the next one. Okay, and this is mostly for me. But Fareed's back. We'll do Fareed. Xena looks like the next one there. Okay, yeah, looks like Fareed and then Xena. So Xenon's feelings towards me. Okay. Irem, we'll get to your question. I'm going to do Fareed's now. I've got Xena's next, and then you're in line. And if you need to hop off for whatever reason, that's fine. This will be on video. And then Lavina has a question as well. Okay. Lavina, maybe I'm just not familiar with the terms, but the last part, and if my Sikti, I guess I'm just not familiar with what that's referring to. And I'm not sure if that's just a chat question or if there's a reading to do with that. That feels more just like chat. Which I don't mind talking to. Okay. All right, we just went over the order, but I'll add that in. I'm not sure that we'll do a reading for that. Maybe. When we get there, we can talk. That's fine. Yeah, that might be one we just talked through. Xenon's feelings. I know we've been using Destiny a lot, but that's probably the right deck for this. Okay. Okay. That looks like the card for you. And down here, I think we've got the card for the Xenon. Okay. It's the same time on Friday would be the next opportunity. I'll just plan on talking about that then with you. Okay. Sleep well and get some sleep. Take care. Fareed, still seeing if there's more cards for this. We've got 5 so far. Flipping 3 or 4 of them. So I'm in Mountain Standard Time, and that would be 2 p.m. We've been running for, almost an hour and a half. You're saying it's 3 a.m. there. So it'll be about 1 a.m. Where you are. So, but yeah, as far as my time zone and time, I aim for 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Okay. Yeah, Irene. So Fareed's question is on the screen now. He's the one I'm answering at the moment. And then there's Zena's question, and then I'll be answering yours. Yeah, I think we're good. Let's retry this connection. Because we want to show your cards. And not my fingers. That's better. Okay. There it is. Make it big. Okay. So we've got 5 cards. We've got Xenon over here. We'll probably flip him. We've got an influence here. It's a bit of a grounding influence. We've got intentions over here, and then we've got relationship in the middle. And then this is you on the right, but you're not curious about yourself. You're more so interested in feelings, which I think will get more so from the intentions card up here. But I think the rest of this will be informative for how you proceed. So, or let me flip cards. Keep wanting to turn the camera off. So that is 4 of Cups on the intentions. And then for Xena, we've got Death. For the relationship, we've got 2 of Wands. And then for the influence here, we've got 7 of Pentacles. And then that's your placeholder. So let me go ahead and set this down. We've got the guide for this one, so we can go ahead and share that. And I think let's just go ahead and skip to intentions. I think that's the one you're really interested in. And so the keywords there were restless and boredom. Can show up if you have been hurt in the past. You may be rejecting things that are showing up for you because of this disillusion and underlying restlessness that you feel. It is time to open yourself up and take a risk. In your home life, your relationships, and work, you may feel static energy. It is time to make a small change and get the excitement back in these aspects of your life. Once you do, you will see the potential in front of you, and you will start to enjoy the fruits that the universe has offered to you. So not necessarily the best of intentions. They're making a change. They're trying to mix it up. It doesn't really give an indication for how lasting it might be. Let's I want to do their card first, but then relationship might give us an idea of lasting. Okay. Let's go to their card, Death. And you may have been on when we were reading this. It is not a card of physical death, rather, it speaks of cycles, endings which bring about new and wonderful beginnings. A reminder that this too shall pass. Holding on to the past will not allow new things to enter your life. Take comfort in knowing that in every ending lies a new beginning. Although the impact may be sudden, this deeply transformative time may offer you a blessing. A break from the past is often the only way forward. Death is a reality check, and when we believe there is nothing left to see, we are left with the truth. Revel in the truth and allow the universe to work its magic. Isn't there a reunion for us? Seems like he is not interested. Probably not. With the context you're adding, it seems like that relationship is done and over. I don't know what the relationship was like with him. But yeah, with that restlessness, with that boredom, it seems like he didn't really intend anything lasting. And given that it seems to be over, I'm inclined to think it really is. Because it's not like we got the architect or anything like that. They didn't intend for this to be lasting. So let's go to the relationship card, the Two of Wands. There we go. Represents the achievement of a goal. There are two wands illustrated on either side of a sunburst, which is situated between these wands. This forms a Roman numeral 2, which signifies a portal, a doorway to another realm. You are moving forward into this portal, taking the next step. The two illustrated wands also represent the two aspects of your situation. What helps you on your journey? What issues hold you back? Plan to move forward. This can be a card of choices. Which path will you choose? Great opportunities are being revealed. Use your higher wisdom to guide you. So that's interesting. In the context of your current situation, I don't know if that's a leave him or try chasing him down. Those are the options I'm seeing there. Because, I mean, he's moved on from what I can see so far. I still want to see that influence, but that's more curiosity at this point, I think. But yeah, I think he may be holding you back. And so that question, what issues hold you back? You might need to figure out that so that you can set him aside and move along. Let's go to the Seven of Pentacles. Symbolizes the rewards and satisfaction that come through hard work. When you plant the seeds of a creation with potential, care, and nourishment, your rewards come through. Be patient and keep your focus. The 6 coins that form a circle represent what must be for the future, while the single coin in the center represents the disposable income. This is a small reward for now. There is more to come, provided you keep working diligently. As long as you keep your dedication, the success will come. Sometimes the ultimate reward is in the journey itself. Yeah, that seems at odds with his Four of Cups, that restless boredom. He's not putting in the diligence to actually reap a rewarding thing. Yeah, I mean, you could try chasing him down, but I don't think this is a person you want. They're kind of at odds with their own best interest, really. Um, so, I guess, what do you mean by brings me a new way? I mean, I get that this was a potential partner. Um, and so, in contrast with no partners, yeah, there's a distinction, assuming that you want a partnership. Um, um, oh, something new on the way. Um, it's not that he has no feelings, but they're somewhat fleeting. Um, so as far as a lasting relationship, not a solid foundation. Um, I guess I'm curious, are you getting other readings as well? Because it could be that this opportunity, this potentially, well, I'm pretty sure missed opportunity. Well, that's probably wrong. That's saying you could have done something. I don't think this is a guy you could have kept or should have kept. Um, but I think this one could be blinding you to others. And that's where the Two of Wands, with that portal to a new place. Yeah. Yeah, that's not communicating what I mean. Let me think of how best to put it. Um, it's not that you don't want him. Um, and given how you're talking, you clearly do. But if I were to play matchmaker for someone, I would not pair them with this person. There doesn't seem to be the lasting part. Um, I guess you're talking about your feelings. Um, I mean, we didn't get a feelings card. I mean, sometimes this intentions one, the card in that place doubles as feelings. Um, but in this case, I'm not getting any real feelings of him towards you. Um, so yeah. I'm assuming you're interested in something long term. With his restless, with that boredom, you might be able to catch him short term, but that's at odds with the long term that you're looking for, presumably. Um, yeah, yeah. Um, if you want to ask a follow up, go ahead. Um, Happy to do that. Um, but probably for yourself moving forward and or dealing with feelings, however you want to phrase that. Um, but yeah, I feel like we've got the answer on him, but it sounds like you might have more questions for yourself. So, okay, if you're comfortable with that, um, that's good. Um, and yeah, you can come back later if you want. And obviously, there's the video if you want to review that. Um, but since we're good, let's find Irene. Was there someone else I want to say? Because Lavina wanted to do another time, which is fine. Yeah, I think we can do Irene. Hello from Istanbul. Are there Goody and I have a future in common? Okay. This is also a Destiny deck one. This deck is sure getting its use. Let's go ahead and shuffle. And I have a future in common. I mean, we could do yes, no, but it feels more like we're probably going to have a short term and a long term. So we might just deal those directly. Because you're not asking specifically about relationship now. In common is interesting. Yeah, I think we're going to have short term, long term. We might have some placeholders for you and Goody. Well, that was fast. Found the short term. Found the placeholder for you. Um, relationship card. Let's see. Wasn't really expecting that. Interesting. Is there more to this one? No, this seems like it. Maybe that future is just too far out. But anyways, so for Irene, we've got 4 cards. Irene on the right, Goody on the left. We've got a relationship card here in the middle. And then we've got short term, that future in common. I was expecting to get a long term up here, but we don't have a card for that. I don't know if this is just going to supersede that in some way, or if that's just too uncertain to really speak to. So as far as the cards you're really interested in, we'll flip the short term in common, and then we'll flip this relationship one. I don't think we actually need the people ones. Those will just represent the two of you. So for that short term, we've got 3 of Wands. And the keywords there are action and adventure. And for relationship, we've got 5 of Pentacles. We saw this earlier, hardship and isolation, though not necessarily that pessimistic. Let me go ahead and read those cards for you. And we'll start with that short-term one, the 3 of Wands. Let me share screen. Okay. Represents expansion arising from a passionate heart. This card is a good fortune card, which reveals that your projects and relationships will thrive. You are about to embark upon an intense period of activity where you may be inundated with messages and communications from others. This is a time of great self-expression. The 3 of Wands is also a card of travel and embarking on a new venture. This card invites you to expand your horizons and open to something new and unexpected in your work, your relationships, and your projects. Individuality is highly favored. Do not be afraid to be the unique person you are. So overall good. This sounds great for the short term. Makes me wonder why we didn't get long term as well. But basically, that relationships will thrive a bit. That's the part that's standing out. Obviously, there's the advice of be yourself, basically. That's what that boils down to. But yeah. Auspicious card, good card for answering the question. Assuming that you wanted, yes. If not, might want to ask a different question. But now let's get into that 5 of Pentacles. We want to clarify this one. There's more to it than that. There we go. This card guides you through conflict in the material realm, which may manifest in the area of finances or well-being. This card asks that you check your beliefs and values by shifting your lack of mentality to one of health and abundance. This card directs you towards spiritual empowerment to overcome any hardship, for instance, the loss of a job or a relationship. The positive aspect is that you will find support from others in a similar position. Sometimes this card comes up to show a certain fear where there is no reason to be fearful. This card also reflects certain feelings of sadness due to a loss of someone close. Have faith that you will discover a resource that will help you see a way forward. I feel like you'll understand the nuance of how that applies to you better than I do. Um, um, okay. Yeah. I don't know if Irene dropped off, um, but I don't know. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to qualify the relationship. Is this the person who is in a similar position or is a resource for whatever hardship you've recently gone through or will go through? Um, Presumably that would be near future. Um, it could also be that you're opening up, you're shifting from your lack of mentality to the abundance mentality, and this person might synergize with that in some way. So that nuance of how that connection occurs, I'm not sure, but it seems like you do connect on some point, and that this will be a pretty positive relationship. How far that'll go and what way, I don't know. Um, but yeah, pretty positive. Okay. It's been almost 2 hours, so I think we'll call it good there. If I missed anybody, just comment me, direct message or something. I'll see it at some point and I can follow up. Or you can hop in like Lavina on our next stream. So we're planning on Friday at 2. Tentatively, we're planning next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I am looking for a job, so that's going to shift our schedule. But that should be a little out in the future. So for now, we should be good with those times. And I'll let you know if and when that's going to change. So until next time, take care.